Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Tonight is going to be a bit of a special live stream because over the past few years, you guys know activists have been ruining movies, TV shows, entertainment in general. And when it comes to gaming, consultation companies have been doing their best to change the industry to fit their vision of what they think it should look like. And obviously, over the past half a year or so, there's been a lot of talk about Sweet Baby Inc. and similar companies because of how ridiculous they are. Their job is to look over a project to make sure that, the content in the game could not be seen as problematic. And they tell developers what their games should look like and what should be added to their titles in order for them to be more inclusive. And since so many games have come out in, even just the past few months that a company like Sweet Baby Inc. has worked on, like Alan Wake 2, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and of course, Spider-Man 2. Educated consumers have become more aware of, their work and recognize their name, not for positive reasons. And that has led to the creation of several groups and communities filled with people who loathe them and their work. But over the past few weeks, Sweet Baby Inc. Detected has been created, blown up in popularity, and that leads me to today's guest, the creator of that list. Hello, hello.
Hello guys. Good night everyone. How are you doing?
It seems like everybody is doing good and is very excited that we're having this conversation, that we're hanging out for a couple of hours.
Sure.
So
I was
feel
looking
free,
forward to it.
feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Kabrutus. I'm just this fellow Brazilian crazy dude who started it all. And I am just again just love play I just love to play video games. Um I just love pop culture in general, and I'm just tired of all this political agendas being shoved into our entertainment.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is something that so many people have been talking about and trying to fight against over the past couple years, but specifically over the past year. It has gotten really intense with how vile companies are, specific companies, and how blatantly obvious what they're doing has become.
Yes. and it looks like people, the general audience are starting to realize this,
Oh, yeah.
because yeah, from the insiders, pretty much everybody already knew. The most hardcore people that follow, for example, video games, since we are talking about them, right? So for example, the most hardcore gamers were already aware of this, but looks like the general audience, gaming audience, are starting to pay attention. Maybe
Yeah.
because of me, I don't know, but
I definitely think part of that is because of you. So why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself and when you kind of became aware of Sweet Baby Inc. and these consultation companies?
yes. Yeah, but like I've have always loved playing video games since I was very young. My father gave me my first console ever, which was a Super Nintendo, the SNES system,
Yeah.
back in when I had like 5 years, and since then became a huge passion of my life. I started many things in my life and stopped doing many things in my life, but video games, they never left my life. I've always stick to video games. They have always been my favorite hobby. And I started noticing that games were, that's actually a good question, because if I think about it, it can go like way back in time. For example, a game that that really comes to my mind on this subject is Wolfenstein 2. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, sorry. Wolfenstein 2, and that was one of the very first games where I noticed that they were maybe trying to push a political agenda. And of course, things only got worse and worse, as the years went by, and they started making games like, for example, The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
And yes, and God of War Ragnarok, and which is featured in SBI website, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, all this kind of stuff. And you even have some some small titles, that do this, and they are related to SBI, but not only them. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I feel like for a lot of people, and this is something I've noticed definitely over, the past couple of years that I've been on social media and on YouTube specifically, is that when the wave of remakes started to come out, I really feel like that is when we saw this push for, unfortunately, content being censored or narratives being shoved into content because you're taking an older product and you're modernizing it and you're making something for the modern audience. And then we end up with so many remakes or even remasters that end up just disappointing people.
Yes, they like to say that this isn't acceptable by for modern audience, and I ask, it isn't acceptable for who? But not for us. For example, I guess it's not acceptable by them, for
Well,
them,
right.
because they care about this political stuff. They care about this message, this virtual stimuli. And this is part of the reason that sometimes I wish, for example, Gears of War, which is a game franchise that, I love the original trilogy. I would love them to remaster the original trilogy. So at the same time, I'm afraid because, I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys remember Gears of War 2, for example, Coltrane says lots of, words with the Queen, and
Yeah.
it's apparently it's forbidden nowadays. You can't say bad words towards a female character in a video game. And so, I don't know if I really want it right now. Maybe 10 years from now. I'm a huge
Yeah.
fan, for example, of Duke Nukem, another character that would be really controversial nowadays. So just
Yeah.
leave them in the fridge. Let's
Yeah.
wait till things get better before.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. So, one of my favorite video games is Knights of the Old Republic. And of course, they're trying to do a remake, and it's kind of in a bit of a developmental disaster position. And we've heard some more promising things recently. But where Revan does not have, well, he does have a canon gender within Star Wars. But in the game, of course, you could choose either gender. And that has definitely set a lot of red flags. Like, of course, they'd want to remake that game because then they could pull, with pronouns only referring to the character as a they, them, or instead of allowing people to choose, the certain gender. There's even been rumors that they wanted to do only a canon female gender. So when it comes to remakes, I definitely feel like they can be good. We've gotten some good remakes, but
Of
unfortunately, a
course.
lot of them, yeah, end up being altered. And there are so many franchises that I would love to see potentially get remakes. But then you have to look at the grand scheme of things and go, is this worth it? Is it worth it to see my childhood ruined? And then it's like, not really. I would rather them not even create it at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us more remasters and less remakes, because remakes, I don't trust anymore. And talking about the Knights of the Old Republic and remake, upcoming remake, if I'm not mistaken, I can be wrong here, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost sure that the woman who wrote Call of Duty Vanguard, you remember this one?
Yep.
Vanguard is the same one that is writing the remake of Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
And
And
she is one of those kind of persons, She's one of those kind
yep.
of persons.
Yep. There's still
So,
some questionable people attached to it, but I think the one that was kind of the most scary for people was Sam Maggs. She said back in 2015, around the time of Gamergate, that she was her character was assaulted in Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's why video games are bad. And she actually went on to work on Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but she is a raging social justice warrior who was one
oh,
of the lead writers, but we actually had heard that she left apparently, but she works at Wizards of the Coast now for Dungeons and Dragons. But in my opinion, Wizards of the Coast is is not redeemable at this point. So
Yes, I
they can
agree.
keep her. They can have her.
Mhm. Yes, yes. I mean, I gotta be honest, I do not follow the Wizard of the Coast situation
It's
really
bad.
closely, but
Yeah.
I've seen, I mean, I used to play lots of Magic the Gathering,
Yep.
and I used to love that to play that. I even won some small tournaments, like on my
Oh
local
yeah,
tournaments.
I worked at a comic book store and I had helped run a lot of tournaments as well. I was there pre-release weekends. It was crazy. But that was before I think Wizards of
Oh,
the Coast started getting really bad. Yeah.
definitely, yes, yes. You can, I mean, you can notice at the cards they make, the way they do characters. For example, if I'm not mistaken, isn't wasn't Magic the Gathering who turned Aragorn into a black guy?
Yes, they do a
They did
lot of
this, right?
yeah, they do a lot of
Oh,
collaboration sets like they've done Monsterverse ones, they've done Doctor Who, they also have done, I think most notably for my audience is yes, the Lord of the Rings set where they had race swapped several characters, Eowyn, Faramir, Aragorn, and it just some of the artwork in that set was absolutely beautiful, but at the same
mhm.
time, we see how Wizards of the Coast treats these properties and, just how Wizards of the Coast in general is even with their own creations now and their own characters.
I've been seeing on Twitter some people talking about a change of rules on Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not really, I mean, into Dungeons and Dragons right now. I don't follow the situation closely, but I've seen some people complaining about some woke stuff that they apparently just had
So
the
it's been
decision.
so it's been happening over the past few years. They will remove certain
Yeah,
races.
yeah, that I know, that I
Yes,
know, that I
yes.
know. Yes.
They do things that they feel is inconsequential because they feel that, oh, this is just the norm and this is how things should
Mm-hmm.
be because of
Mm-hmm.
course they're filled with activists, but it does affect the actual game, then of course the actual gameplay, and they don't really care because they just view it as that we do not agree with the content that is in the game and has been in the game, so we are going to try to erase it.
Yes, this is where all that orcs slash black people came from, right?
So the conversations about orcs being offensive or racial
Yes, yes, I
stereotypes
remember
really
this.
stems from Tolkien, but
Hmm.
the discussion has also surrounded things, other fantasy properties and things, yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, this. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons was the first time I encountered. I mean, I found out about this kind of situation. I would never imagine that someone would relate orcs with black people, and we are the racists. This is kind of,
Yeah, I
it's kind
mean,
of, I don't understand at all.
when you want to find something offensive in a piece of content, you will find it. You will find a way to say
Yeah.
that is actually offensive, and that's what I see. But it really says more about the people who are calling it racist than the people who have
Hmm.
said nothing about it their entire lives and simply enjoy the content for what it was and by who created it.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. It says way more about them than us. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously, Sweet Baby Inc. has definitely it's Sweet Baby and other narrative consultation companies have had a lot of ties to Wizards of the Coast. I mean, not that that's very surprising to see the direction that Wizards of the Coast has went in, but many companies obviously now are using these narrative consultation companies. I initially started making videos years and years ago on this channel about Magic the Gathering and about tabletop games. And then it kind of shifted to more general gaming focused discussions because I have always loved video games and had such a passion for the industry in general. But, yeah, I mean, over the years, I've slowly but surely talked about it started with Wizards of the Coast, and then it started with other companies like Blizzard. And now, of course, we get to these narrative consultation companies like Sweet Baby Inc. And, I really started making videos about Sweet Baby Inc. in depth about 5.5 months ago. And that was because I was such a huge fan of the Arkhamverse, and I was initially mildly hyped about Kill the Justice League, but after I found out that they affected the game a lot and had a big part in its development, all of that interest and hope was kind of lost, and I feel like most gamers feel that way. And obviously, Rocksteady is filled with activists too, and they were a major reason why it flopped, but the writing credits for Kill the Justice League was almost 50-50, but the reason why I bring that up is because obviously there's a ton of games that Sweet Baby Inc. and companies alike have tainted, but out of them, were there any that you were extremely excited for initially that you ended up skipping on because you thought that they were going to be duds after finding out companies that worked with them?
Oh, that's an interesting question. The last game that I was really interested in, and after I found out about SBI involvement, then I lost interest. Actually, isn't wasn't even released. It's a game called South of Midnight. The game,
Yes, I've heard
it's
of
a yeah.
that.
I just love stop motion. I love stop motion animation. This is why. No, I forgot the name in English. The name of the movie. That movie about Halloween and Christmas and Jack, the school named Jack.
Oh,
What
The
is the name
Nightmare
in English?
Before Christmas?
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
Brazilian Portuguese names. I'm sorry, sometimes I
Oh,
forgot
that's
the
all
yeah.
right. It's good enough.
It's one of my favorite movies. I mean, I remember my mom putting the movie for me to watch when I was really young during the Christmas time, because we don't have that much Halloween tradition here in Brazil. But
Yeah.
Christmas, we are all about Christmas, over here.
Yeah.
But then, and yeah, so South of Midnight, because I just love stop motion animation, and I thought that the game had a really interesting setting. It's a game about voodoo stuff,
Yeah.
and bro, I mean, in my opinion, it's refreshing. It's different from what we've been seeing in the past. I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, I would say. And then I was really interested, and I had some people telling me, "Bro, don't get interested. It's gonna be woke and then yada yada." No, I mean, no, it's not only because it's a game about black people and stars a black girl. It's not necessarily woke. Let's
Right.
wait and see. Let's wait and see. I mean, I'm offered. I'm interested. It's a really good subject. It's a really good setting. Interesting. But then I saw SBI.
Yeah.
They have added the game to the website, and I told myself, okay, maybe my friends are right. Let's just move on. Let's just forget about it. I I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna buy that game. Not
Yeah.
maybe I have Game Pass subscription for like 2 years more. So maybe I'll give it a try since I have Game Pass already. But I'm not gonna
Right.
buy it. Definitely not. I'm not gonna give money for.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
no, I unfortunately I end up playing a lot of Sweet Baby Inc. games on
Mm-hmm.
the channel because obviously it's part of my job to play and
Of
review
course.
games. And
Yes.
since I'm
Yes.
talking about it, I want to play it. But boy, have I
Mm-hmm.
had to play some real awful games, especially ones that I had initially, again, so much excitement for, like Kill the Justice League. I mean, the other Arkhamverse games were so amazing, and they're games I've played so many times. And then, unfortunately, while I tried to initially be kind of hopeful since we knew Kevin Conroy was back and they had a lot of the original voice cast back, that would be maybe enough to basically just be good enough, and maybe that was cope. But then, of course, as time went on, Sweet Baby was marketing it a lot, and they were really trying to almost promote it in a way that they were almost more important than Rocksteady because of the way that they were marketing it, which was just really bizarre, and I hate using the word cringe, but very cringeworthy. And so
Mm-hmm.
that was a game that I know a lot of people were. I think that's really the game that kind of got a lot more people aware of Sweet Baby
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they were gamers that played the Arkhamverse years ago, but now that this new game came out and they saw it was drastically different, they were like, what's going on? What is this trash?
Yes, exactly. In fact, Suicide Squad is the game that inspired me to create the curator page.
Yeah.
I I gotta be honest, I'm not a superhero guy for like, I mean, I don't follow superheroes anymore since, I don't know, 2011, 2012. I just
Yeah.
got tired, I just gave up, you
Yeah.
know. But still, I do like characters. For example, I like Superman. I love Venom from Marvel. It's one of my favorite characters. I love Batman is really cool, and I saw what they did to Batman in this game, and I was like, why, why? And I saw what they did. For example, uh, Poison Ivy becoming a child
Ooh, the Greta
and
insert.
having that kind of that thing with Harley. I was like, why of all characters, why did they choose her to become a child again? Why? And I was,
Right.
you know,
And
why why was only Wonder Woman who didn't get mind controlled, and how Wonder Woman could brawl against Superman? I mean, how?
I
You know, they don't care about the characters. They don't know
oh
nothing
no.
about that. That's the thing. I mean, that's the perception I have when I look at that game. The things they did.
Oh yeah, this was a game that as a gamer you had to shut your brain off to even get through it because you had so many questions by the end. Like I understand there are
Hmm.
little things like, oh, the lasso of truth made it so that she didn't get affected by it. But at the same time, you have just the sheer and blatant disrespect for all the other characters. Like Sweet Baby now has killed off Batman not once but twice because of Gotham Knights as well. So they just have a hard on
That's
for
true.
killing Batsy. And then you had them, the characters, stripping Green Lantern and pissing on the Flash. It's just such a disrespect for the source material and the fans. And that's the worst part is that they don't care.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
totally fine when a character has to die. It's called Kill the Justice League. It's inevitable that the Justice League, at least some of them were going to die, but it's the sheer disrespect in which they went about it, which is the problem.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my cat
Oh no,
doesn't
it's all
like
right.
interviews.
Oh, believe me, I get it.
She's she doesn't care. She just doesn't care. Anyway, yeah, I 100% agree with you. They show such disrespect for the characters themselves, and this is why fans get so mad about it. I bet the reason is because they see Batman as a white male fascist, a millionaire who if he did really wanted to solve Gotham problems, he would share his fortune. This kind of bullshit, you know. Yeah, but I mean, I guess. Okay, let's be honest. Suicide Squad is a bad game, even if it didn't have any of those stuff.
Oh yeah, at its
But
core, it's a bad game.
yeah, but I mean, people would just take a look at it. Okay, it's a bad game. Let's just move on, or let's just, I don't know, wait for a sale. Maybe we can get it, play with some friends for a weekend, and then move on. It's a bad game,
Right.
but not a terrible one. But what made people really hate the game is what they did with the characters, just like mentioned. And then
Oh yeah.
people started searching who did this, why they did this, how could this happen, who made those decisions. And then there's my curator who showed up, and then there's Sweet Baby stuff, and everything started tying together, and then we are where we are. You know.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the list has gone absolutely insane. It is at right under 270,000 followers, which is fantastic because all it is, okay, is a list. And I know the media has been trying to twist it, saying it's more than that. This is the way that they can target us and attack us, but it's not like on the list you have put your personal opinions. It's not like you say,
Mm-hmm.
I hate Sweet Baby or I hate this writer and this is why you should avoid it. You clearly link web archives of the connection with Sweet Baby, and that's it. It's not like you're telling people, "Hey, go and get these people fired." But of course, they want to act that way because they want to be the center of attention, and they also want to be the victims.
Oh yeah, I mean they always try to be the victims. For example, that's a good point you brought up. If you click on the About tab right there, and if you show to people I made a statement, visit group page. If you click now, visit group page, I made a
Oh
statement.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Then
this one,
click
right?
discussions. No, no, this not
Oh,
this one. Discussions, and then a few words. A few words. It's a thread called a few words.
gotcha. This
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, I make it
Gotcha.
very
Yeah.
clear. Take a look at those bold letters. I make it very clear to this isn't about, convincing anyone you shouldn't buy it. I mean, I gave my
Right.
personal opinion. I'm not gonna buy, and I recommend not to buy it because of my reasons. Because SBI's involvement. That's my personal opinion. I still have the right to have one, right?
Oh yeah, of
Um,
course.
yeah, of course, I should be at least, okay?
Yeah.
But I make it clear inside the group that it isn't about it isn't about convincing people. It isn't about trying to make SBI go bankrupt. It isn't about harassment at all. I
Right.
make it very clear. It's your decision. You can buy, even if you buy an SBI game, you are still welcome to to join the group, to talk with us, to be part of this movement.
Yeah.
Be- I'm not the authoritarian here. I'm not the fascist here. I respect people's freedom of choice, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make them aware. Just trying to bring information to them. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do on my channel, is why I stream so many games, even though I think they're going to be bad, like Gollum, like Suicide Squad, like Alan Wake 2. I don't think I'm going to enjoy the games just from what I have seen as a consumer, but I still stream them because let's say I have 100 people in a live stream and 90 want to just watch the playthrough, and then those are 90 copies not sold. That's totally your choice to buy it or to not buy it, but I'm trying to show them why they might not want to support it and bringing up things like the companies, which is exactly what you're doing with this list. You're not trying to tell people, oh, you're an adult, but you can't spend your money on this game. You're just trying to educate people. And that is what the media and these employees absolutely loathe, is educated consumers, because that is when their grift completely falls apart. And that's what happened when GamerGate 1 ended up happening. I know that some people have dubbed this GamerGate 2, most notably the media, who's trying to stick on to it because they think, oh no, people are going to remember GamerGate 1. They're going to support
Mm.
us no matter what. But they have tried their best to make you seem like the villain and make educated consumers seem like the villains, which is just, of course, awful, but not very surprising at this point.
Not at all. It's not surprising at all. We have this same kind of stuff here in Brazil. This isn't new for me. Believe me, this isn't new. Of course, this is the first time where I am the target, but this isn't new. I have seen this kind of stuff many times before,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's exactly like you said. For example, what came to my mind, it's, for example, if someone, let's say someone is allergic to peanuts, right?
Yeah.
But this person is thinking about buying Snickers chocolate bars. He needs to know, he or her needs to know if there's peanut inside that chocolate bar, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we know? Why don't, I mean, we are paying for the game. We are financing the game.
Yeah.
Isn't our aren't we supposed to be able to know what's inside of it since we are paying for it?
Right.
Why is it so offensive? Where's the bad thing about it? I it's we know that, of course. I mean, both me and you, we know the real reason they're trying to do this. Okay, but those are questions that people that maybe watch us now or later have to start asking themselves, because
Yeah.
this is about consumer awareness. This is about freedom of choice. This is about letting you have the right to ask questions. Some people are sending me screenshots of some users on Steam are starting getting banned from certain games forums just because they go to those forums, the community hubs, and ask if, hey, is this game involved with Sweet Baby Inc? Then they just ban him just by making the question. This might be an interesting issue. Maybe I'll make a video about it.
Yeah. I mean,
But
that's ridiculous for so many reasons. It's just somebody asking a question, and that
yes,
shouldn't be a problem. I mean, right on the
not at
front of
all.
Sweet Baby Inc.'s website, they highlight companies they work with, projects that they've worked on. And that's why all of these meltdowns they've been doing over the past few days is so kind of absurd, because you would think that they would just view this as free press, because most companies are like all press is good press, even if it's negative. And all we're doing, or all you're doing, and then of course creators like me are really kind of highlighting, is a list that they highlight themselves. It's not like, again, it's some big harassment list. It's just a list saying what they've worked on, what they've done on these projects, but instead they have completely overreacted, which of course has caused the Streisand effect, which has caused your list to blow up and your social media to blow up, and then of course creators like me to cover it and ultimately of course support somebody like you, because not that I'm trying to say you're like a nobody, but they view you as a nobody, and that irks them so much that a smaller creator could get so much attention because they feel like they are superior to everybody.
They think that they can smash everyone
Yep.
anytime they want.
Yep.
They think that people care about them. I'll tell you something. If they stopped working in game industry as a whole, nobody would complain. I am 100% sure.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
and that's not me saying that they should leave. No, they are free to keep doing what they're doing. But let people also be free to talk with their wallets. If we don't want to buy the games, then it's all right. It's our money. We,
Exactly.
it's that's that's it. And I think what most angers them is the fact that I am 100% sure that they are right now trying to find some way to, incriminate. Is that even an English word? Incriminate someone?
Yeah.
Incriminate,
Yeah.
like,
Incriminating evidence, like evidence they could use
yeah,
you to prove you're guilty of
against,
something.
yeah, to prove I'm guilty on something and take my curator page down.
Yep.
And but there's not, because I mean I'm 100% sure that of what I'm doing, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. It's just
There isn't.
informing people. That's all. I invite anyone. You guys can go to my creator page and join the group and read everything. I didn't say anything that
No.
could be interpreted as harassment. Not at all.
Oh no, but unfortunately, when it comes to platforms like Steam, I've talked about this in a lot of videos over the years. But Steam, when it comes to developers and content, specifically like anime focused content, their rules are very inconsistent for content they allow on the platform, and that does kind of come to this conversation of like Steam's Japanese prejudice, but the point is that they will allow and then not allow and ultimately ban certain games because they feel like, oh, a character looks like they're underage or this content could be deemed offensive. And that's why so many people are so worried about the list, because there really are not a lot of rules when it comes to curators and lists and their Steam forums, and basically anything could just get taken down at any point, which is what makes it so worrying at this point.
Yeah, probably because I bet that Steam never imagined themselves that a curator could cause such controversy, around the all the media. All they would never imagine, and I also never imagined that a creator page could, be the main subject about a no gamers gate 2. People are calling it like that, right? So,
Yeah.
but who knows? So that's probably why Steam Valve never cared about those guidelines. But maybe now they're gonna think about them. Maybe now they're gonna start. I don't know. It's just, that's me talking. It's just a
Right.
guess. Maybe. Who
I'll,
knows? Time will tell.
I would love to be optimistic. My chat knows I try to be the
Hmm.
most optimistic person, but I do not think that Valve is going to change for the better anytime soon. And I don't think that they really care about, protecting their users on the forums from things like this. Like, you've got this company and these employees and these outlets trying to unfairly get your list taken down. But I don't think at this point, this is just my opinion as well, that Steam is going to
Hmm.
do anything against the list. But I also don't think that they would protect it. I feel like they're kind of in that neutral zone right now of like, it's getting a lot of attention. If we take it down, it'll get more attention, but also how can we combat this in the future? And I feel like that's something that they'll probably end up doing going forward, is slowly changing their rules around, like Rotten Tomatoes did with Captain Marvel. Is one day they just up and wanted to, of course, change the rules around to protect, companies like Disney, and they've never been kind of changed back even after user feedback.
Yeah, yeah. What you say makes a lot of sense to me, and probably they're gonna start taking a look at this kind of stuff from now on. But I must say that only by them for them being neutral is already a big thing in my opinion, because I think that if this, let's just pretend that if this was in Sony or Microsoft hands, they would probably have already, found a way to just take it down.
Right.
But Valve, no. Valve, it's much better in my opinion. I know that Valve still has those kind of
Oh,
problems
yeah.
like you
They still
mentioned. I know,
stumble.
but they are still by far the best out of the three. I'm not counting Nintendo because Nintendo don't have. I wouldn't never imagine a thing something like this born in a Nintendo platform. But yeah, I mean, Valve is still the best options we have the best option we have in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every platform has their pros and their cons. And obviously, Steam is a mega platform with so much content on it. But yeah, I mean, they have done some good things over the years. They've also done a hell of a lot of bad things, which is unfortunate. But I mean, obviously, hopefully, this list doesn't end up getting taken down, or they don't right now or at any point try to, remove it or slowly change the rules so that groups like this in the future could not be allowed, because I just feel like that is definitely something that they would do, is try to going forward slowly alter those rules.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I would say. I mean, I really have no. I agree that it's a definite possibility, but I really don't know if they are gonna really try to do this, or because I mean a company like SPI, it isn't a big company at all, so maybe that's why they don't care that much. Don't I mean that's
Well, the thing that I would argue is that on Sweet Baby's webpage, Valve is listed as one of the companies they've worked with. So we don't know in
yes.
what capacity, but
Mm-hmm.
that to me has been, since the list really started blowing up, was the
Mm-hmm.
big worry, is like, how much of an in do they really have? Because yes, Sweet Baby is a, I would call them a mid-sized company, mid-sized narrative consultation company, but they also work with some of the biggest companies in the industry. So we really don't know the pull that they have. We have a best guess, but we don't actually have like the full scope of it.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. And this kind of stuff also, I mean, I also consider this a red flag. When you take a look at the Sweet Baby website and you see Valve logo there, yeah, it is a red flag. I agree.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, for now at least, I think we're fine. If they were to take the group down, they would already have done it, in my opinion. That's
Oh
the way I see it.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree. But my next question would be, do
Mm-hmm.
you think as the media has kind of picked up on this topic, that there could be basically another, let's just call it a mega wave of reports? Because I'm sure that the group has been reported quite a lot from these people. And I know that you would actually, I think, wiped the group itself of the content because Steam was receiving reports, but because the media now is and a lot of developers are really heavily hitting against it, do you think that that might end up being there might be like another giant wave, because I know in a lot of these media articles they haven't mentioned you, and of course that's not very surprising that they don't want to admit the fact that this all started because Sweet Baby Inc. employees went online and harassed you and tried to get your list and your accounts ripped away from you. But do you
Hmm.
think that, yeah, maybe this will be another big wave that could potentially affect the group or even your personal accounts?
Well, they are already, according to GameDev.com, I think that's the name of the outlet. They released a hit piece earlier today. Was it today? Sorry, it was yesterday.
There's been a
Yeah, and
lot.
yeah, and they mentioned it that Sweet Baby had masters, and I know their leaders are trying to get in touch with Valve, even Discord, but there's no response from Valve or even Discord.
Right.
Yes, I mean that makes me happy, to be honest. And
Yeah.
about the reports, I don't think it is possible at all because, like you mentioned, I locked all the threads. You simply cannot create a new thread in the group anymore because of this. Because the group is just too big. I don't have
Right.
I don't have like 30 guys working for me in the
Right.
moderator staff. I just put those some friends of mine, some close friends of mine, for example, Retrocesso. He's the guy that Retrocesso helps me out a lot with the Discord situation. Discord
Yeah.
is such a place for drama. I wasn't aware of this. I had no
Discord,
idea.
we
I
have,
had no
I
idea.
personally have a great Discord community, but that is also because I have pretty, let's just call them bad to the bone moderators. They are not
Mm-hmm.
afraid to put people in their place, which definitely
Yes,
is something that comes with the Discord. You don't want to, censor people and instantly ban them, but
of
when you
course
have to,
not.
track how many people are getting how many warnings, it can become very very intense very quickly.
Yes, yes, exactly. And it's the same thing with the Steam group. We were receiving around 300 reports per day. We ended up having like almost 5,000 reports, if I'm not mistaken.
Whew.
And that's when Steam reached out to us and said, "Hey, you gotta take care of those reports, otherwise we're gonna have to shut the group down, or at least the
Right.
discussions down." I'm not sure if they were just going to delete the discussions
Right.
or nuke the entire group. I just told my moderators, okay guys, I don't want to do this because I really wanted this to be a place for people to talk, for
Well,
people to
yeah.
have discussions and exchange ideas. And I really, for example, we had some people that actually were in favor of SBI, but as long as they respected the rules, that don't say stuff that could jeopardize the group, or that could generate a fight against between members. You can stay, you can
Y-
share your vision, you can say whatever you want, as long as you obey the rules. But yeah, I had to share it. I told my moderator to just purge everything, purge the heretics, delete everything, and then just lock
Yeah.
all the thread creation, because that's the only thing we can do. Otherwise, it's impossible to moderate. The group has
Oh, yeah.
almost 105,000
Woo.
members.
Yeah. It's
That's
insane.
Yeah, that's just too much for, I don't know, like four moderators to.
Yeah, you're gonna need an army of like 50 at that point.
Yeah, at least with separate time zones, each one of them,
Yeah.
and with enough free time in their lives to take care of this, because they would probably have jobs or maybe wives and kids, this kind of stuff. So it's just easier if I just close down the discussions. I mean,
Right.
yeah, if you want to talk and meet people that is part of this calls, go to Discord and try to make friends. We have almost 7,000 people on our Discord server.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of people for you to meet there and talk. So just do it. We even have the group chat. Steam has this group chat where you can just click a
Mm.
button and you enter a chat. There's more than 3,000 people over there, so this is also a place for you to talk to people in case you want to. And of course, there's also my Twitter. You can just go, and there are lots of people interacting in my posts, and I've seen some people having nice chats between them in the comment sections.
Yeah,
Every place can be a place for you to meet people if you really want, you know. I
right.
suggest that, yeah, that's what I suggest.
Yeah, and for anybody that's in chat, I believe all of the links are in the description. So if you want to go and check those out, I do see we do have some donations that I want to read quickly because I do see some questions. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Waifu Taker. I relate with Halo Reach. No Spartan cake equals no cash. Yeah, I have to agree there. Halo, they
Yes.
definitely, I don't think, took in a very good direction. But,
With
Infinite
the
had a
female
decent story.
Spartans. Yeah, I've told I was with Hypnotic in Saturday. They asked me my three favorite games from the last 5 years. Halo Infinite is among those games. I really think that Halo Infinite is by far the best Halo 343 ever made, and
Yeah.
it has a really decent multiplayer. And also, I love the art style. I mean, they
Yeah.
hit the spot. I'm aware of the all the situation, the launch problems,
Oh,
but
yeah, there
still, I
was,
think it's
but
a great game. I think it's a great game. I still think.
I
I may be
agree.
biased because I'm a Halo fanboy, but
I agree. My favorite Halo is Halo 2, and I think Halo 3
oh,
is a little overrated. I know. I
no,
know.
don't.
I know I shouldn't, but Halo 2 is the best in my opinion. Infinite was the story though. I think they've really hit the nostalgia. They've actually
Hmm.
kind of respected the characters, which was shocking after the last Halos. But thank you, Mr. Waifu Taker. And another, I will never forget that pathetic presentation where Neil Druckmann called Ayane and Cortana sexist or whatever. Yeah, I do remember that. He has a
Oh, he
hate
did.
boner.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He did.
he has a hate boner for female characters. He has attacked over the years, because obviously Neil Druckmann has been in the industry for a very long time. He, over the years, has
Hmm.
made some very questionable statements about female characters, and which isn't very surprising given the fact that he, had Anita Sarkeesian help him with The Last of Us Part 2.
Just take a look at Abby, the character from The Last of Us Part Two. I mean,
Yeah,
if he really liked women, he would made a character that actually has feminine traits, you know. But that
yeah.
Abby, I mean, that girl has bigger biceps than mine. So
yeah. Yeah,
that's
Abby
not. I
was
mean,
crazy.
yeah, in a post-apocalyptic world, without being able to, proper training or steroids, but she has that body.
Yeah, she
Okay,
does. They made her
okay.
insane. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Poncho. If it comes from Montreal, you know it's wrong. Unfortunately, yes, this is nothing against our Canadian viewers here. I appreciate you guys, but god damn, it's a pattern. That's
My,
for
my
sure.
my favorite wrestler is a Canadian one, so
Who's
I
your
mean
favorite
it's not.
wrestler?
Oh, Bret Hart, the Hitman,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
best.
great.
He's great. I love the guy. I really
My
love.
favorite was always Randy Orton, but I
Oh,
might be
Randy
biased.
Orton.
It's been a couple years since I've really been into wrestling. I gave up after Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. That was it for me. I was out. I tapped out. I couldn't do it anymore. That was such a weird storyline. And Clarence Knight, thank you for the 5. Is Cabrutus still making the DEI detected website and maybe add other organizations that do these things?
Oh, Clarence, right? That's a really good question. Thank you for asking, because this gave me the opportunity to explain. Yeah, I still plan on doing the website. It's just that right now, so much stuff to do, like so much. I will probably end up having to find someone to help me with it, because I mean I don't know I don't know how to work with WordPress. I never used this kind of technology. I used to be a software developer, but I never touched WordPress in a professional way. So, and also this would take lots of time, because I would have to learn at the same time that I build the website. Right now, I simply can't. Like I told you, too much stuff happening at the same time. I have to do so many different stuff. But I'll try to find someone to start things going for me, because I have already paid for the domain and I have already paid for the host. So everything is set, everything is ready. You just gotta start. I just gotta find someone who can do it for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that
And
at least in my community, I'm sure that there's a couple people that would honestly be willing to work with you or at least help you out and point you in the right direction if, that was what you're doing. But are you going more of a Sweet Baby Inc. or are you going more DEI detective?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why it's called DEI detector.
Yeah.
I intend to, not only SBI. I know we have some other companies that do the same, and I know, for example, Forspoken has relations with Black Girl Gamers, which is another company that is they kinda do the same kind of job with SBI,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah,
Here's
and
a
we
list
just got to
of
know.
all
Oh
these
yeah,
different
there's the list. Yeah,
companies. Yeah.
there's the list. And we just got to know earlier today, that they're going to make a Black Panther game, and they
Yep.
already have a company that is really, I don't know the name of the company, but there is really SBI is, it's really, I will gotta pay attention to this. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice question. It's an awesome question. That's my plan. It's just that, like I told you, it's hard right now.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really overwhelming. I have no staff. I have no agent. I gotta do everything myself. I'm trying the best I can.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, obviously, you've got so many people that are supporting you, so many people that are really happy with what you're doing, and this obviously massive community of people now that are
Hmm.
here to help you when it comes to content creation, or even when it comes to just the normal things that maybe a viewer wouldn't see, right? Like making a website or setting up YouTube channels and streams and marketing and all those different things.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And many people try to offer me help. It's just that I can't even pay attention to what I need help with.
Right.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, it's only been what I would say 2 weeks or a week and a half since the list really blew up. So you have been
Hmm.
hit with an absolutely massive pile of things to do and all of this, massive attention that I'm sure, I don't know, maybe you were, but I'm sure you weren't really expecting it to blow up to this proportion at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The first logo I made for the group, I made it in Paint in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took the SPI logo and just put a red, like, I don't know how do you guys call it over there, but
Line,
it's
the
like a
circle and the
prohibited
line.
red line.
Yeah.
Yes, and we in Paint and just put it there. And I asked a friend, "Hey, could you please join this group so I won't be the only one in this?" Yeah, okay. So they joined, and that's it. And it was like this for around 3 weeks, something like this, and everything blew up, and now we have people like Elon Musk talking about the
Yeah,
situation.
which I also wanted
And
to bring up. Right.
okay.
Yeah, I have it somewhere here. I've got so many tweets. Here it is. Yes, you did
Yes.
an interview with the Quartering and
Hmm.
Grums, and James Lindsay had made a post about it, talking about former game exec and developer at Blizzard, Mark Kern, talking about the way that the industry is headed. And Elon Musk, yeah, did retweet it and just said, "Wow!" And it's a very basic statement, but it's still acknowledgement from obviously an extremely influential person. I mean, this
Yes.
tweet already, it just went up today, not even that long ago, a couple hours ago, and it's already got nearly 3 million views, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's Elon Musk, right? It's Elon
Yeah.
Musk, and we know that Elon Musk likes video games. He have
Yep.
tweeted a lot about video games in the past, and maybe this is something that he would care about. It would be really nice to have some kind of help of him in this kind of situation. Maybe something we can do to, because this is about the gaming industry. We just
Right.
want games to be good again. We just want games to, for example, why can't we go back to 10 years ago and let's start making game like they used to be.
Yeah.
Not the technologies, of course, but don't try to put political agendas and stuff. Don't try to re-educate us while we play a video game. Just give us good stories, good characters, and we give you
Yeah.
money. Everybody's happy, right? Everybody ends up being happy with. So why
Right.
not?
I mean, I don't have any other information, but there have
Mm-hmm.
been some rumors circulating that Elon Musk wants to start a basically mega game company like an EA or
Mm-hmm.
a Blizzard, that he wants to actively pick up developers who have been shunned from the mainstream and get them making AAA games. And obviously there's like not a lot of information on that. It's just kind of a rumor at this point, but judging by the very simple but obviously profound tweets that he's making about the video game industry and even this situation, it definitely kind of leans into that potential creation that has been talked about.
I would buy every game they release in a heartbeat. Like
Yeah.
every game. I would
No, I agree.
completely support a company like this. I would make live streams after live streams and I would try to spread the word
Yeah.
about the game the best I can because this is what we need. We
Oh, yeah.
know, everybody knows we have tons of really talented people that got
Yeah.
booted out of their companies because of
It's so
this, because
sad.
of ideology, because of
Yeah.
politics, just because of not agreeing with stuff. We've seen some news about this recently, and they can still offer so much for us gamers. They can still build wonderful products. They can still build wonderful stories. They
Yeah.
just need the resources to do so, and our support, of course.
Yeah. And I mean, if we look at the people that have been canceled from the mainstream industry over the years, every single category is covered. We have developers, we have creative leads, we even have voice actors that I've talked about. Vic Mignogna, of course. We have Quentin Flynn, people who have been shunned from these larger companies over, whether it's accusations or the company is going in a very activist focused direction and they want to push these narratives, and there's people who simply don't agree and end up wanting to leave. So we do have so many people who are kind of underutilized in the industry right now that I think could make a difference and be part of some amazing projects. And if someone with the resources like Elon Musk was to go forward and create a company, I definitely think obviously it would be successful, but I think it's really what the industry could use.
Exactly. And for example, Mark Kern, this guy's a legend.
Yeah.
I you don't know how I used to be. I used not. I'm still am a big fan of this guy, of his work. I used to be a huge Blizzard fanboy back in the day.
Yeah.
I was so addicted to World of Warcraft. I was all about the orcs, the Loktar, Horde, Burrenton, and this kind of stuff. I tried to be a competitive StarCraft player. I just loved old school Blizzard. I think everybody does, right? Old
Oh
school
yeah, of
Blizzard
course. Blizzard
is
was amazing at one point. So good.
perfect, yes. And they care about their fan base and they just gave us wonderful franchises, wonderful stories, characters, gameplay, everything. And this guy has being part of it. So I'm a huge fan of him. And he's one of those examples. I don't know if he's working on a project right now, but I would love to see this guy having the resources to build something big again for us. I would
He
100% support it.
he's working on a new game and I believe it's called Ember. It's EM8ER. So I think it's supposed to be pronounced Ember, but I've actually been following it for a while at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that
Mm-hmm.
comes out and it'll be, a real big hit.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hope. I mean, let's do our best to make it a big hit.
Yeah. So let's read a couple more super chats. I see some questions for you, Mr. Waifu Taker. Thank you. That SBI employee dissing Toriyama had me mad. I was so pissed that they did that. I mean, of course, Chris Kindred, that's his name. He's been so loud. He was the one that started the harassment campaign
Yes,
against you,
yes.
and he just cannot seem to keep himself out of controversy. Like, obviously, he is an individual who can go on social media and make his own posts and say
course
the
he
things
can.
that they want, but they also are going to face backlash if they're bad takes. And in the case of Toriyama, that was just such a disgusting thing to say, not even, 24 hours after his passing was announced. When people are grieving, I understand he could have approached it and said, there were things I really loved about his work and things I did not love about his work, but he did it in such a disrespectful way that just, of course, disappointed and disgusted so many people.
And also the timing. The timing
Yeah.
was like terrible. The timing
Yeah.
showed how intentional it was to disrespect the memory of Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
And what makes him mad, in my opinion, I think that what makes him mad about Akira Toriyama is the fact that he knows that he will never, ever in his entire life be able to build such wonderful characters, beloved characters all around the world, build
Yeah.
such a developed such a wonderful work. I mean, let's take Dragon Ball for example. It is loved in Brazil, it is loved
Yeah.
in Japan, it is loved over there in the US, Mexico, Latin America as a whole. Akira Toriyama is a legend. For example, Dragon Quest is my favorite JRPG franchise.
I love Dragon
And
Quest too.
I
Yeah.
love Dragon Quest. I love Dragon
Yeah.
Quest. And the first thing that drew my attention about Dragon Quest was when I took a look at the game and I thought, hey, this a Dragon Ball game? I was thinking to myself, this is a Dragon Ball? No, 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 no. This is from Akira Toriyama. No, oh, okay. I just love that guy works. I love the robots he did, the dinosaurs. And
Oh
please
yeah.
will never be able to do something that wonderful. This is why he hits the guy.
Well, right, of
That's it.
course. And that's it. It does boil down to jealousy that Chris Kindred's name is not going to be remembered the way that Akira Toriyama's name is going to be remembered. And it's honestly so hilarious to see the sheer jealousy because they
Hmm.
can't critique things. It would be different if they were critiquing his work or something, but even so, right after his passing is just so
Yes.
disrespectful.
Yes. Yes. I completely agree.
Clockwise, thank you for the 5. What do you have to say to all the people saying Sweet Baby Ink doesn't even do what we think it does?
They're lying.
Yeah,
Simple as that. They're lying. It's very clear that I mean it cannot be a coincidence. Okay, it cannot. If you pick every single game that they show on their website has some kind of political agenda. Would it be feminism or I don't know, let's say BLM, or let's say virtual signaling stuff, and trying to re-educate you and trying to spread a message that the cops are bad, or fascists and this kind of stuff, this kind of language, this kind of political subjects are really into the work. I won't say that it is, of course, it is. Every single game is a different game, so it may be more in ones than in the others,
of
but it
course.
can't be a coincidence. It can't be a coincidence. They are just
Oh,
lying
no.
because they know that people don't want this. And they're not gonna tell to people that this is actually what they do because they are trying to make them look good. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, the media has been trying their best to say Sweet Baby Ink doesn't do what gamers think they do, but that is, yeah, like you said, a lie. They do exactly what we believe they do, and they're just trying to run defense for Sweet Baby. It's like with the Bungie situation. I covered this a few days ago. The narrative director at Bungie attacked people for criticizing Sweet Baby, and it's not just to defend Sweet Baby, but also their own past actions because of how these companies have become. Bungie is an extremely woke company now. They started pushing these ideas into games years ago before Sweet Baby was even on anyone's radar. It's the same with like Square Enix and their ethics department, and Capcom taking what was deemed as sexist dialogue out of something like Resident Evil 4 remake. A lot of these were not Sweet Baby, but they're things Sweet Baby probably would have asked for, and it makes it so other companies and these other narrative consultation companies look at it and go, if this company is doing it and they think that that's good, we're also going to do that.
Yes, yes. And you know what? I've seen lots of Halo fans asking, oh, Bungie should come back. Let's put Halo in Bungie hands again. Bro,
No,
you don't want this.
no.
No. Believe me, no, it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay?
I mean, Bungie was
No.
the company just a couple months ago posting about Latin AEX.
Oh my.
I mean, it was so bad. And
As a Brazilian, I see something like this, I just get
ooh,
pissed. We
yeah,
don't like this kind of bullshit over
I
here. We
get
do not.
pissed for you. I get pissed over these
Yeah.
posts because of
And
how awful they are.
it's so I mean, I am a Brazilian. I'm telling you, I don't like this. We don't
Right,
care. You don't know what you like. We,
right.
we
You
know
don't
for
know
you.
what you want. We know what's
Yeah,
best for
exactly. We don't
you.
know what to. Yeah, yes. That's so racist, so xenophobic, and they don't realize this.
Nope, they do, or they realize it and they just don't care. They're like,
Yeah, they just don't care.
what
Yes,
does it
yes,
matter? Clint, thank
yes.
you for the 10. Thanks to both you, Vera, and Kabrutus for helping reveal the truth of the dark side of the gaming industry. We need to be more informed. It is much appreciated.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not doing. Keep in mind, I'm not doing this alone. Everybody's helping me. The entire gaming community is with me in this. Okay, people call me a hero. People say that I'm doing God's work. I am really not. Okay, I am really not. I'm just a guy who had the privilege of having a good idea and starting this all, but I'm not in this alone.
Oh
Okay,
no.
we are all part of this. Everybody's part of this. Okay, I'm no hero. I'm just a gamer, a Brazilian gamer, and that's it. And my cat is scratching me.
Ah, it's
Okay.
all right. My cat runs on my audio equipment all the time, but it's true. You're
She
not
wants. She
alone.
demands food now. She's
Yep.
demanding food.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, you're not alone. And that's what's great about it because they can't just take you down. Even though they've tried, it's not going to happen because there are so many people that are defending you now. And you are part of this giant community that, of course, these people at Sweet Baby would love to see destroyed. They would love to see this YouTube channel taken down or your Twitter or your Steam profile taken down because we're not saying exactly what they want, which is why so many people have to stick together. It's the only way to fight against these people and the things that they are doing to the industry that ultimately we want saved.
Yes, exactly, exactly. We need
Yeah.
to unite more than ever.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Waifu Taker, for the 5. When I saw the toxicity SBI speed, I said to myself, I'm not letting those lowlifes ruin anything for me anymore. And you shouldn't. You know, there are definitely companies like Sweet Baby that are doing these bad things, but at the same time, you have to enjoy what you want to enjoy. Like, let's say Destiny. You love Destiny 1. Even though Destiny 2 went to shit, you can still enjoy Destiny 1 or like with
Yes.
Resident Evil and the remakes, while some of the remakes are really good, and of course some of them do have censorship and this wokeness shoved into them, you can still enjoy the original and you can still enjoy the remake for what it is, but you are aware of what has been changed and you are aware, and that is what, you know, Sweet Baby hates. They do not want people to be educated consumers.
Yes, they do not want because they know that consumers don't like them. And
Yeah.
maybe consumers don't like them because they do not do a good job. Just saying,
Yeah.
just saying.
Quantum, thank you for the 2. Kabrutus clapping them cheeks, exposing the EI cringe. I also saw another before. Yeah, we need more master cheeks.
Oh,
Have
clapping them cheeks. I'm not sure if I know what is this. I know Master Cheeks meme because of that terrible Halo series, that
Yup.
horrible Halo series.
Yup.
Ugh, don't even get me started on that one. But clapping them cheeks, what does exactly this mean? I'm not
It's
sure.
it's basically just you know,
Is it
sex.
safe for me to
Yeah,
Google?
it's not. It would not be safe for me to Google and show on the stream.
It's
It's
porn
kind of it.
stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like twerking. It's kind of the more sexual version
Oh,
of twerking.
okay, okay. I'm clapping them cheeks. All right. I can try sometime.
Well, well, you learned something tonight. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it is so pathetic what these employees are doing, but also what the media is doing and how the media honestly is completely ignoring you. And I think it's honestly also hilarious because they're afraid of you at this point because they can't mention what happened at the start because it was Sweet Baby Inc. employees that were attacking you and trying to, you know, get your accounts banned, and they can't mention that. Therefore, that's why we can't trust these journalists. I mean, that was what Gamergate 1 was all about, is ethics in journalism, and these people are proving that, you know, this is still happening, that this has not changed over the years, and that journalism in gaming has not actually gotten any better, even though of course, you know, there's some people who say that industry's definitely changed for the better. It's not. It has not changed all that much.
Yeah, I mean, it changed for the worse, in my opinion, because Western games are getting triple A Western games. I'm sorry, because we do have wonderful examples of double A, like we just did
Oh yeah.
Helldivers, for example, is my favorite
Last
game right now.
Epoch.
I just love that game.
Last Epoch was amazing.
Last Epoch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played. I'm not a ARPG guy, but I did play this one. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's decent, and we do have wonderful examples of Western game developers. For
Yeah.
example, indie games. That I always recommend people take a look at indie games. Take a look at Japanese games. They are retro games. They are an excellent refugee against what is happening right now. You don't have to buy and play every single AAA blockbuster. You don't, you
No.
know. Yeah, I mean, no, and you shouldn't, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, you shouldn't. But I mean, yeah, it just got worse. Things are just getting woke and more woke and more woke. And even if it's not woke, it's broken, it's bad. I don't know what's happening with the AAA Western game industry. You know,
Yeah, I mean, I think that we are going to reach a point where these companies go, all right, we have invested so much money into things like DEI, so many projects are not working out. How do we shift? How do we change things? But I don't necessarily know if at this point that any of the large companies that have done that, like Bungie or Activision, I do not know. Well, maybe not Activision because of who owns them now, but like the
yes.
Bungies, if they can be saved with the people that are part of it and the projects they have, I honestly feel like they need to scrap literally everything and start fresh and actually start listening to consumers. And I don't think that's going to happen for years until they realize they're not making money anymore. But I just don't see a way that they could continue to go forward with the price of video games and how much, developmental costs they're saying are going up and how long developmental cycles are. And then, of course, they come out and they're Suicide Squads where they go on sale 2 weeks later because absolutely no one is buying them.
Uh, yes, yes. Everybody's saying that it's pretty unsustainable at this point,
Yeah.
and maybe we are already seeing a crash. For example, we had so many layoffs in the past months, and we've been seeing so many big games, blockbusters flopping, and they are just not making the money they should be. So maybe are we starting to see a crash in the AAA Western gaming industry?
Well, I think that
That's
obviously right now it is at an all-time high for revenue. I mean, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. But yes, internally, I mean, we have been seeing so many layoffs and so many studio closures. So I think that right now the industry is in an interesting place because of course a lot of people are getting laid off, like they've overstaffed to the max, but it's also making more money than it ever has. So they're kind of in this odd position of how do we keep the industry growing while also basically skimming these numbers, but not skimming them too much. And that, of course, means that they have to kind of focus in on what projects they're creating. And I feel like that is where things fall apart because we see a lot of companies put a lot of just shitty microtransactions and monetization systems into games, which is a hurdle they have to face because people will instantly not support something like a live service game or an always online game or a game with predatory monetization and loot boxes. But at the same time, they also still need to create something that has a good story and good gameplay. And it's when you bring these teams together is when things are not, I think, at this point working. Like we see so many of these large games like the KOTOR remake, as we were talking about, it's been in development hell for like 3 years at this point. And while I think that now that Saber Interactive is a private company and they are no longer under the clutches of Embracer, they could potentially save it. But I think that that's the case of for a lot of games at this point.
yes, yes. I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. And talking about Bungie, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of expecting Marathon to be a good game. I mean, I love the sci-fi shooters, I just love this kind of stuff. Give me a badass guys wearing a power armor and shooting an alien monster or a demon. I'm set. I'm sold. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna play it. So I'm looking forward to Marathon. But I just like you mentioned, I'm not expecting a good story at all. I'm not expecting good characters, anything. I'm just expecting a good gameplay because Bungie still knows how to do good gameplay, in my opinion. They still do. They
Yeah.
just I mean, Destiny 2 still has an amazing gunplay, in my opinion. They
Yeah.
just don't. I mean, they just don't know how to tell good stories anymore. Maybe
Right. And I
you
think
know.
they also don't really understand their consumers because, like Wizards of
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Coast, they're creating products that they think are going to sell to a wider audience. But in a lot of cases, like with Bungie, even though Destiny 2 has been around for 7 years and they've definitely milked it as much as possible, you have to keep players engaged. And when you're not keeping players engaged and you're not releasing that content that they want, then you end up in the situation where the game is not going to sell. And like you said with Marathon, I do think that they're banking on that and that it's going to do good, but we don't really know. But that kind of also, yeah, leads back to the conversation about the industry in
Mm-hmm.
general. I mean, video games
Mm-hmm.
made like $185 billion in 2023. And by 2026, it's projected that they're going to be making over $200 billion. And that's all that these companies are looking at is what can we do to keep those numbers going up. And they think that, remakes, because again, Marathon is a remake, that remakes and remasters are going to do well. But I think we're definitely seeing a shift where people are getting sick and tired of the remakes and the reboots because unfortunately so many of them have, yeah, these narratives shoved into them.
Yes, every trend has, no trend lasts forever, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the gaming industry, we've been seeing, for example, Sony putting out so many remakes slash remasters of their stuff, and people are already way more than, they just can't, they just stop, they don't want this kind of stuff anymore. And yeah, Marathon actually, I wouldn't call Marathon a remake because the first one is so old it did
Right.
influence Halo, for example. It
Right.
was
But I
one of
know
the games I
they've tried to market it for people who have nostalgia, and they've tried to market it kind of
yes,
as like
yeah,
a remake,
a,
even though, yeah, it
a
seems very
revival.
different.
I would call it a revival. I would call it a
Right.
revival. Yes.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um we have a 10 from Mugskins. I think that's how you say it. Thank you. Activision Blizzard has gotten worse once Microsoft sale finished. I just left I'm assuming left WoW 2 weeks ago. They even have their quarterly ESG reports now and will be going even more woke and scummy paywalls. Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, but that's a lot of companies right now is that they are trying to, focus on that ESG, and it doesn't seem to be working out very well for them.
No, but talking about Blizzard, I think that they started going downhill when they sold themselves to Activision. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah, no,
wasn't
I definitely
Microsoft.
agree with
I
that.
remember
Yeah.
I played WoW back in 2008,
Yeah.
way before they get bought by, like, 2 years, almost 3 years. I don't remember exactly. Yeah, but when they got bought by Activision, then things started going downhill. Not only World of Warcraft, but pretty much in every single way, every single game, in every single aspect of Blizzard. So I wouldn't blame Microsoft. It's just that Blizzard has been in a downhill situation for more than a decade. So
Yeah,
it's
I
just a
mean they
combination of
they are a
things.
company that definitely has been focusing on ESG to get the
Yeah.
BlackRock and Vanguard funding, which is a lot of companies at this point. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
laughing because it's so ridiculous. Because if they actually sold good products and listened to their consumers, they'd be making a boatload more money. But instead, that's what they're focused on, and it has pushed a lot of people away over the years.
Yes, and that would be pretty easy to Blizzard because they have so many beloved IPs and characters. They can
Yeah.
make tons of good stuff, but they just choose not to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a part of that I think is that the Blizzard that we once knew and loved is definitely
Oh
gone.
yes,
But
yes. Hmm.
I mean, you'd think that they would be hiring people who are actually half decent at their job, but they haven't appeared to be able to do that over the past couple of years, honestly, for a very long time at this point.
Yeah, you. I agree. I completely agree.
And another question that I had is
Hmm.
obviously with Sweet Baby Inc., they're a company that at the end of the day wants to make money. Every company wants to make money, and I don't blame them for that. But do you think they've got a long term strategy, like having 20 Sweet Baby Inc. offices and like they work with every company, like real tinfoil hat theories? Or do you think because of there's so much backlash surrounding them now, that they will kind of split, like the people that work for them will split and just go work at these other companies that are similar, the narrative consultation companies?
Um, I think that every company expects to grow. They aim to grow, so that's pretty standard, I would say. Of course, they have plans of growing and maybe getting more offices, more employees, every company expect to grow. I would say that's what they want. That's what companies are for. They are in this for the money. You know,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I mean probably, but I don't know if I was an unexpected obstacle for this kind of stuff. I don't know. Time will tell. And about the dissolving, some people are claiming that they will have to rebrand themselves, even if they don't leave the company, but they are going to have to go through a rebranding, maybe changing the name, changing the logo, which would be much appreciated in my opinion, because I don't like this logo at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's hard to predict. Some
Oh
people
yeah.
claim it's almost sure, but I don't want to be the one who try to predict stuff. I just
Well,
let's
right. I
just
mean,
wait and see, you know.
yeah, predictions are very hard because while
Hmm.
obviously the internet and kind of the human nature is to speculate and wonder, at the same time, it is very hard to speculate, especially with how much heat they're facing right now because there's like 30 different directions that they could go. And
Hmm.
the problem is that they haven't really said anything, but that's actually another quick point that I wanted to bring up because I'm not sure if you saw it, but the co-founder of
Oh
Sweet Baby
yeah.
had actually, yeah, made this statement. I'm probably going to do a video on it
Hmm.
tomorrow for my audience, but he basically just blames it on a far right harassment campaign, which of course is classic. We've seen this with all of the media now. It's the only angle that they have instead of taking any form of or instead of being, apologetic in any way or trying to be understanding, this is what they've done is they've just gone and completely attacked anybody who sees the name Sweet Baby Inc. now and questions what they did or what they changed. They've
A good
taken,
start for them. Sorry.
they, oh yeah, I was just gonna say they've taken like no responsibility at this
Oh
point.
yes,
Yeah,
a good start for them would be maybe sweet baby. You should should apologize for what one of your employees try to do with a gamer. Like it
yeah,
could be any one of us. It happened to be me, but it could be you, Var. It could be any one of
right.
your audience guys. So that would be a good start for them. I would say, that would start to making them, look humble, maybe like look
Yeah,
a little bit less aggressive toward gamers. Cause my perception I have of someone like this guy and Sweet Baby as a whole, and even companies that really look like them, that really do some similar jobs that them do, is the perception I have is that they just hate the audience they are trying to reach. I mean, for example, they are trying to make games and sell games for gamers,
yeah,
right? But at the same time, they I mean at the same time they look like they actually hate gamers because they
yeah,
always call us names. If you don't like what they do, it is because you are something terrible. And for example, my curator page now is a far right movement extremist, yada 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 bullshit. Do you really like your audience? Why don't you guys try to build an audience for yourselves, since you guys don't like us? Start your own IPs. You start your own games. Don't
yeah,
try to change what we already like. I am
right.
never going to be your guys audience, but I'm 100% sure that there's audience for these guys out there. They just have to cater to them. They just have to try to reach them and not convert an already established audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be
I'm
way better for them to do.
Well, right. I
Just
think
my
that
two
if
cents.
the I think if the but no matter which, Sweet Baby co-creator it was, if they came out and they simply made a statement saying, while we stand by our work, you completely can criticize it. You don't have to like it, and that's fine. If they just acknowledged it instead of instantly going with the attacks and the insults, it would be different. But that's not what they did because they they cry on social media saying they want to have a conversation, but it's, creators like me and creators like you who don't want to have conversations. That's not the truth at all. We would sit down and have a genuinely fine conversation, a civil conversation with these people, but they are the ones who don't want to because they don't actually want to have to listen and try to understand the other side that they are completely against and have been completely against.
They want us to listen to them, but they don't want to listen to us. And you know
Right.
what's funny? We have the money. We are the ones who are supposed to
Yeah.
buy their games, and yet
Right.
they don't want to listen to us. They not only they not only pretend that I don't exist, they not only pretend that one of their employees didn't do anything wrong, but they also accuse us of what one of their employees did to our
Exactly.
community. That's the perfect formula for people to hate you.
Yeah,
For
a
people to
hundred percent.
I don't I mean don't these guys have a marketing team? don't they
Apparently
don't
not.
they
PR.
yeah, don't they see what they're doing, the image they are building for themselves? They're such a small company, but they are so well known already. They have
Right.
so many people hating them. I'm not kidding. Not even electronic arts, I haven't seen this kind of hate towards the coming from the gaming community. Is not even towards electronic arts, and they are doing this themselves. They are building this reputation for themselves. They are making themselves look like they are worse than electronic arts. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest with you. Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know where if they can still come back from this. After everything they done. I don't know, but I mean,
Yeah.
take this as an advice. Next time, if you guys start a new company, who knows? Maybe you guys shouldn't, antagonize your audience.
Right. I mean,
Just
a major problem is right, the fact that they have not taken any form of responsibility, but they have shown no compassion for the people that they need to buy their games. And I get, right, that they are a company and yeah, they want to make money and they want to stick by their product and they want to
mm-hmm,
believe in their product, but you need
mm-hmm.
to realize, they need to realize, not you realize it, but they need to realize what is going to sell and what is not. And we've seen so many companies go through the same exact thing, company after company releasing a bad product that people don't want and then it getting absolutely panned critically and commercially, and then of course it comes out and they call us racist,
Yeah,
sexist, bigots just
always,
because we don't like
always.
a game. There are plenty of games that feature women or black characters or all these different things in games that we all love, but because they want to paint us as these awful people, oh well, you don't actually matter. Your opinion doesn't actually matter. You're just, a conspiracy theorist or again a racist or a sexist or things like this.
Yes, that this is the very same thing we see, for example, in politics.
Yeah.
For example, in the movies industry, it's the very same thing. It's a very, I mean, it's so tiresome. I mean, I just don't take it seriously anymore. They call me names. I just, oh, okay, whatever. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't mean anything
Yeah.
nowadays.
Well,
And
right.
because of them.
Yeah. And I mean they could at the end of the day actually try to change their image like with the sweet baby situation. They could apologize and now I think it's gotten to the point where it's too late, but they don't want to because they would rather have the media on their side. They would rather have the companies on their side versus the people who actually need to buy their game in order for them to survive.
Yes, yes, and you know the problem. The problem is exactly what they do. They take an already well established franchise with an already well established audience. For example, Suicide Squad. I mean,
Yeah.
those are DC superheroes, DC characters. They are beloved by many people. They already have an a established audience, and probably this audience isn't there audience. I mean, the numbers don't lie. That game
Right.
flopped like really hard.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I told you, in my opinion, what they shouldn't aim for is to build their own audience, and they would do it by doing original IPs, original projects, original stuff, and that wouldn't bother me at all. You can put whatever message you want in your product if you have an audience, and if this audience wants to give you money for this, go. I won't, but I
Yeah.
mean, you're free to do it, okay? Just don't try to destroy,
Co-opt.
twist
Right.
things. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, that we already love. This is why people don't like them.
Right.
And on top of that, they start saying this kind of stuff. They start attacking people for not liking them. It's the very same thing that in the movies industry, like those Hollywood stars. They, for example, what is the name of that girl that makes Marvel, Miss Marvel? What is her name?
Brie Larson, Captain
Yes, I
Marvel.
mean, yes. I remember. I mean, like I told you, I don't care about superheroes and Marvel and stuff for a long time. But I've seen that girl, that woman, so many times calling the her audience, the Marvel audience, sexist, or this kind of all this kind of bullshit, and people just get fed up with her, and nobody likes her. Nobody can stand her anymore. If she's in a
Yeah.
movie, nobody gonna watch it.
Right. I
Sweet
mean,
baby, you're
it's
doing the same thing to yourselves right now. Listen to me. You're doing the same thing to
yeah.
yourselves.
I mean, it's so true. It's like Rachel Zegler. She's supposed to play the new Snow White, but she had
Oh,
literally said that she didn't like the original Snow White. She had only watched it once as a kid and it freaked her out, which I get. Like, if you're a kid, okay, a movie might freak you out, but wouldn't you watch it years later, especially when you're trying to get the part of Snow White? Like, you should have some general level of respect, or even if she didn't, keeping it to herself. But she didn't do that. Instead, she called it weird and the prince a creepy stalker. Like, those are not things that are going to get you sales. And now Disney is panicking over it because they
yes,
delayed it by the full year because they don't know what to do because so many people hate it. That's what happened with something like Saints Row, right? It was delayed twice. And while they said it was for polish and they wanted to really make it the best experience possible, we can clearly see it was because of the backlash. They weren't sure what to
yes,
do. And of
yes,
course, they didn't
yes.
go in and completely remake it or change anything. They just doubled and tripled down on it. But you can only do so many things and say so many demeaning things to your audience before they eventually tab out and they're like, I am no longer going to support you. I'm no longer going to purchase this product.
Exactly, exactly what you said. For example, I'm a huge Predator fan. I love Alien, Predator, sci-fi
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
I have a Xenomorph, like it's statue action figure.
Statue.
I have a Predator tattoo. It was the very first tattoo I've made.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really love the movie, the creatures. And I know that they have released a Predator movie and they have already announced a new one. I just don't care. I don't care because I know where it comes from.
Right.
I'm a huge Predator fan. Believe me, I'm a huge. I used to have comic books, everything about the Predator, and I just don't care anymore. And that's what they do. That's what they do when they keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. I used to love Disney. The very first movie I watched in theaters was The Lion King, the original animation. I was so
Yeah.
young, so small. I remember my dad taking me on his arms and putting me on the chair to watch the movie. I cry to that movie nowadays. I really
Yeah.
do. I mean, when Mufasa dies,
Oh
I can't hold.
man.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I can hold the tears, and I'm not afraid of it. I love animals. I love cats, for example. I guess it's because I watched this movie so many times, and I see Simba suffering, and But look, but if you want to hear my opinion about Disney right now, anything they do, I just want to ignore. I just hate it. I really hate right off the bat. But
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it. I hate because it's from Disney. That's they did. That's what they did.
Right.
And about the Snow White, I think it's so disrespectful. I remember watching Snow White when I was even before Lion King. When my father first bought the VHS, what do you video home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes,
VHS. Yeah.
VHS, right? And the first movie ever he put on that for me to watch was Snow White, the animation.
Yeah.
I remember the songs, everything, and I see I don't even remember Rachel's what. I don't remember her name. The
Rachel Zegler,
actress.
but yeah.
Yes, she just respect. And isn't it funny that the evil queen is more beautiful than Snow White in the
I
movie?
know, I
And
know.
isn't it funny? I mean,
I mean,
what is
beauty
the
is in
mirror
the
gonna say? What is the
yeah,
mirror gonna say? You know?
yeah. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Rachel Zegler is not an ugly woman by any means,
She's not.
but when you
She's
have
not.
Gal Gadot as the evil stepmother, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to up the ante a little bit, okay? It just doesn't work.
It's another league. It's totally in another standard. It's another league.
Right.
You can't.
It's like if you took the Beauty and the Beast, which was
Hmm.
fantastic animated, and you made Gaston like nice. It would defeat the point
Oh
of her
yes,
wanting to be
yes.
with the Beast, who ended up being nicer. There are these things that completely defeat the point of the movie, and by making the, in this case, evil stepmother beautiful, or picking a beautiful actress, it defeats the point of the whole entire story, because it's like, I mean, is she really the fairest of them all?
That's
Questionable.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what Disney tried to do with what is the name of that villain from the 101 Dalmatians? What is the name of the
Oh,
movie?
Cruella.
Cruella. Yes, it's the Brazilian name is the same, but I didn't know it was the same in the US. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. This is
yeah.
why I asked.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, anyway, they. I don't know if you remember, but they tried to make a movie to redeem Cruella. You know, Disney tried to make a movie to redeem her, to turn her into a tragic villain. We are talking about a woman who was willing to murder 101 puppies
Yeah, there's no
just to make
redemption.
a
Yeah.
goddamn, what is the name? I forgot in
The
English. A
code.
goddamn,
Yeah.
yes, yes. How do you redeem someone like this?
I don't know.
No,
Well, right.
no,
In the live
no.
action, they made her like this girl boss with this tragic story, and
Oh, it's tragic story.
that's why she wanted to go against everyone, because she had
Oh,
gone through this tragedy. And boo, cry me a river and float upstream. Sorry, I
yeah.
am still not rooting for you. And of course, they picked a beautiful actress. They picked Emma
Mm-hmm.
Stone, who is a great
Mm-hmm.
actress,
Yeah,
but it
she's
doesn't
beautiful.
I hated that angle of trying to make her the victim, and trying to make her,
Yes, yes. I
this sad woman who went through this tragic thing, and that's why she's evil. Why can't we just have real villains anymore? It's like they would not have the guts to make Hunchback of Notre Dame. They would not have the guts to do that these days, because of the songs and the tension within it and the adult themes.
yes, I mean they cannot make woman being evil anymore because that wouldn't be progressist. That
Right.
wouldn't be. And I mean, she tried to murder 101 puppies. What else must? What else I have to say? Oh, I have problems with the world. Let me murder 101 puppies. No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get tired of repeating this. Okay, it's unredeemable. I'm sorry. You're
Right.
not gonna make us like her. Never.
They
All right,
tried though,
never.
and they always will try, because that's all that they care about at the end of the day, is trying to get people to see things through their lens, from their
Yes.
point of view. And if you
Mm-hmm.
have, say, two good movies, like Cruella wasn't necessarily a bad movie, it's just that they
Mm-hmm.
altered the original story to try to make her a victim. Like, it wasn't necessarily a bad movie, but because all they have done is tried to make these characters seem like you're supposed to care about them, and love them and kind of root for them, it's just more of co-opting this previous content to try to make it for, as they deem, a modern audience, which is just a group of people who want women to only be heroes, and for women to only be role models, because we can't have evil women anymore.
Like we didn't already have, female heroes. One of my favorite characters ever in movies is Ellen Ripley. I love
Yeah,
Alien movies.
yeah.
I love Sarah Connor. Terminator is one of my favorite movies ever. And they are, I mean, Sarah Connor. If you really pay attention to the Terminator 1 and 2, okay, let's just pretend that all the others don't exist because I mean
Yeah,
we don't need them, okay, we don't need them. Just 1 and 2, Judgment Day. If you really pay attention to the stories, Sarah Connor is a true hero. She's the
right.
biggest hero because she has the power to give life to humanity's less hope.
Yeah,
That's powerful, don't you think?
yeah.
That's more powerful than any masculine character that that franchise has. But clearly, that's not enough for them because they need women to act like men, like they did in
Right,
Dark Fates. I mean, they don't like women. They don't like feminine stuff because what can be more feminine? What can be more feminine power than giving birth, than
right,
having the privilege to carrying a life? That's
right.
powerful.
It
That's
is
beautiful.
powerful, and the worst part is that they're not doing justice to either gender because they're taking the male characters and they're making them weak and puny and
Mm-hmm.
they're giving
Mm-hmm.
them these major flaws while also having the women who are supposed to be the heroes and supposed to be the best characters in the content, but you can't you can't have a story where you prop up the women by denigrating the men, especially in an established franchise, and still expect people to be okay with that. You can't expect that to be something that people are going to buy into. And they've tried it time and time and time again, even with, the original, well, I shouldn't say the original, but the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe Revelation, the first one that came out, that is exactly what they did. He bragged about how he killed He-Man not just once, but twice,
The
and how
Netflix animation, you mean?
yeah, and how
Oh
Tila,
my!
yeah,
Oh
and how
my!
Tila was so important, and Tila was the focus. And don't get me wrong, I love seeing Tila. She's a part of the crew, and she is an extremely important character. But to denigrate He-Man to prop up Tila was an awful move that, of course, people revolted against.
You know what made things even worse in this is that they totally hid this during all the
Yep,
promo, the marketing.
they
Everybody was thinking, bro, this is gonna be a badass animation about him. I was excited about it, and
yep.
then I didn't even watch it. I was waiting because someone leaked what the series was gonna be about. Okay, I'm gonna wait and see if this end up being true. Guess what? It did,
Right.
and
It
yeah,
was a
and
giant bait and switch. And of course,
mm-hmm.
people like Kevin Smith did not care. They still went full steam ahead because that's what they ultimately wanted.
I mean, those people have a fetish for losing money. I don't get it. I simply do not
They
understand.
really do. They are more focused on the message versus money, which is, something that a company like Disney has been really focused on. Bob Iger is not going to let the message go, even though it's losing them boatloads of money because they are already so invested. They feel like we have quadrupled down. We cannot go back. We can and obviously to consumers, some consumers they couldn't go back, but there are still people that would give them another chance, but they're showing no signs of changing and of trying to be
Yes,
better.
yes. I mean, yes. I get it
Yeah.
totally.
Poncho, thank you for the 279. Things are fucked when heroes are villains. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially Batman for those people. Like I mentioned, they think Batman is evil because he's straight male, rich, white guy.
Yeah.
That's it. And nothing
Yep.
more than this, you know.
Yep. Another from Poncho. They may take our hobbies, but they will never take our freedom. True. I don't think that they are ever going to fully take our hobby. I think that
Nah, they
gaming,
won't.
yes, is in a rough spot, but with the indie scene, with the double A scene, I think that we still have I don't think that we are losing. I think that yes, the gaming industry is going through a lot of major problems, but I don't think that we are going to just straight up lose the industry like Hollywood. I've got to be honest, Hollywood at this point is pretty irredeemable, even though there
Oh
are
yes.
occasionally projects that come out and that are really good. Like, I'm really glad at the Oscars, Oppenheimer won so many awards. Godzilla minus one won an award, which is fantastic, but we still can't trust the people in the industry and, of course, the creatives because one good project doesn't make up for the 100 bad ones that they've made.
Yes, they need a string of good projects in order to make people start having a goodwill with them again.
Yeah.
And about the gaming, I completely agree. We will always have a refuge, be it indie games, be it Japanese games, be it I don't know double A games, but there'll always be something good for us to play. I wouldn't worry about it at all.
Yeah, and you can always go back to your
Retro games.
library, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and play retro games because there are so many amazing ones that are significantly better than the games that are
Oh.
releasing today, especially when we're getting, the Suicide Squads, which are complete and
Mm-hmm.
utter ass.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely.
Mr. Waifu Taker, I'll never forget being called a terrorist over the Saints Row reboot. I will never forget that either. And she, to this day, I don't think
Tourist.
Yes,
I'm not familiar. What happened?
the PR manager for the Saints Row reboot went on a tangent saying haters are going to hate. We
Yes,
don't
yes, I
care if you
saw
don't
this.
like our game. And yet they referred to our actions, which is criticizing the Saints Row reboot,
Hmm.
as terroristic behavior.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this. Now that you mention, I'm
Yeah.
remembering. And guess what happened to the game?
Womp
I mean,
womp womp. It's
it.
$10, chat. I saw it the other day. I was
Uh,
almost tempted to
it's
buy
too
it. I was like,
expensive. No, it's too expensive.
I know,
Don't,
I was like, I
don't.
gotta wait for the 5. When it goes to 5, I'll buy it. But I was like, ooh, 10? We're getting close.
We're getting
Almost.
there.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, uh, we have so many examples of not what not to do, and they still go and do. And this is
Yeah.
why I think those people have fetish on losing money, because I just I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah. I mean,
What?
we have so many examples in the industry of the direction not to go and the things to not do. And these companies just don't care. They continue to do these things that we have told them time and time again do not work. And it's like I see a lot of like these Sweet Baby Inc. employees and these journalists saying the only reason that these people are criticizing uh, this company and attacking what's going on in the industry is because they want to make money. I want games to be good. Yes, I have this YouTube channel, but I have it so that I can bring awareness to the things I and many other people don't like in the industry. And I'm not doing that because I'm a hater. I'm doing that because I want the industry to be better. I would love if tomorrow all of these companies drop the DEI bullshit and actually focus on what consumers wanted and making good games. And so many other people feel that way. It's not that we want to hate the industry, we want it to be better. These companies are just making it so hard to support them and making it so hard to continue to support just the industry in general.
Yes, yes. I mean, yes, perfect. Everything you said. Yes, it's exactly this. I would
Yeah.
love to. Of course, it's not gonna happen. They're not going
Oh
to
no.
drop everything tomorrow.
Oh
I would
no.
love to, but I mean,
Yeah.
we still
I
have
mean,
the refugees, like I said. I mean, we gotta be
yeah.
picky. We gotta be picky, babies. Did you see this? Did you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta be picky, babies, with what games we buy.
Yeah, we do, and that's just luckily an educated consumer's choice, which
Oh
we know that
yes,
they hate.
yes.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
also see a question in chat. Hey Vera,
mm-hmm.
hello. Remember how Sweet Baby Inc. listed all the companies that hired them? Think you can get Rambo to make a list of the opposite? So you mean companies that are putting out good games that are not affiliated with Sweet Baby? Is that what you're asking? Maybe he'll answer in the chat in a minute. But
I think that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, you can go ahead.
I think that what he tried to say was Sweet Baby actually released a list that companies who hired Sweet Baby, therefore
Yeah.
their games were gonna have Sweet Baby involvement. Maybe that's why he's trying to do. And thank you for calling me Rainbow. He's my favorite movie hero ever. I
I agree.
I love
Absolutely.
Stallone. I just love Stallone. I had a long hair for almost 20 years because of that guy. So thank you for calling me Rainbow. Thank you.
Yeah. A lot of these developers that are getting laid off are mainly the ones that virtue signal. Do you guys see that as a sign of bad karma? I just think that the industry in totality right now is going through a lot of layoffs. And while we have seen some companies, haha, sorry to laugh at Bungie, but Bungie had recently laid off all of their DEI departments. I do think that that is happening, but I don't think it's the only employees that are getting laid off at these companies. Obviously, I don't want people to lose their jobs, but at the same time, a DEI position shouldn't exist in the first place, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
Poncho, thank you. You like Hogwarts Legacy, so what are you saying is that you're transphobic? I know there's still so much backlash surrounding Hogwarts Legacy and just that time. I don't know if you had paid attention to all the Hogwarts Legacy kind of drama and turmoil that ensued.
Oh, I definitely did. I even pre-ordered that game on my Xbox.
Yeah.
I didn't even play it. I just did it for Yes,
No,
yes,
no.
I
Oh, how
know.
could you do this to me? You're breaking my
Yeah,
heart over here.
I'm sorry. I have a friend. We
Ah,
shared this Xbox account, and I mean, we split the. I mean, the game. You know, we pay half each. I paid half the price, and I mean, I didn't play because I gotta be honest, I don't know much about Harry Potter universe. I
fair enough.
never
Yeah.
got really into it. I started playing it. It looked like an extremely well developed game,
Oh, it was
uh, well
fantastic.
polished game. It looked like, I mean, good gameplay. I will play someday. Um, but I didn't. I'm not gonna. I mean, I can't lie. I didn't play. I'm sorry, but I did follow the drama, and I was
Yeah.
glad it ended up being the best selling game of last year.
That was
Take that.
fantastic. Also,
That was
thank you,
fantastic.
Marcus, for the 20. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like even though if you don't know a lot about Harry Potter, I feel like it is
Hmm.
very normie friendly. Like because you're a student, they're teaching you things. You don't really have to know a lot about the universe to enjoy it. And the gameplay itself is really fantastic.
Hmm. I've seen a friend of mine playing the game, and I did some fights in the game. I played a little. I played for like, I don't know, a little bit less than 2 hours. It felt good. It felt a good combat system.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the game someday. Someday I will.
Yeah. Um, guys, probably in about 5 or so minutes, we'll be wrapping up the stream. So let's end it maybe on a more positive note. So you said that you are potentially going to be working on a website. You are
Yes.
doing YouTube live streams. Tell us a little bit more about kind of your content plans. I know that everything's so hectic for you right now and there's a lot going on, but maybe like a general what you would like to do.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I mean, people have been asking me to do. People just say me do whatever you want. We just
Yeah.
want to hear from you. And I'm trying to be a good content producer. Some people tell me that I should, just make a video about, you can just, turn on your camera and read an article, maybe talking about you, maybe talking about the gaming industry, and just share your opinions, give your thoughts on it. And
Yeah.
that could be something. But also, I love playing video games, so I would love to stream some gameplays, because I mean, this is the whole point, like playing video games. This is why I care so much about this industry, and definitely, yeah, it's gonna be. It's kind of hard question, because I have
Oh yeah.
no clue, but I'm definitely gonna be. I'm gonna be doing something like this. I mean, at least in the beginning, I don't. I mean, I don't feel like I'm very good at it. My videos. I mean, my microphone, my camera isn't. They aren't that good. My English, it has a lot of accents. Sometimes I know I just stop talking because I need to reorganize words in my brain because there's this Brazilian Portuguese version of my brain who's always trying
Yeah.
to take over the English version. It's like Bruce Banner against the Hulk, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I'm trying to build up some self-esteem. People reach me and say, "Hey, you're amazing, you're this and that. Believe in yourself. We just want to hear from you." And people really said to me, "You need to start doing this." This is why I started, because I wasn't feeling like, okay, I'm not. This is not gonna be good. I'm not a good content producer. I don't know how to make good videos. But people encouraged me so much that okay, I did. I have put some stuff there. I have a podcast that I did with a Brazilian friend.
Yeah.
We talk about why Japanese games loves Brazil, and you should watch it, because if it wasn't by Japan, I feel like we would have almost zero representation in gaming as a whole. And
Yeah.
Japan gave us so many amazing characters over the time. For example, we love Blanca over here. Don't ever let someone tell you that is racist. It is not. We love Blanca here in Brazil. We just love that green giant ape, thunder powers, and that green giant Pikachu. We just love the guy, and yeah. And also, I did some live streams, and I shared some of my former heavy metal band musics there. People asked me, so I did it. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything's been crazy for you, but I
Mhm.
definitely think that obviously, judging by the reaction to the list and the group, people do want to hear your opinions on things. So I definitely think that obviously it can be stressful, especially right now when you've got this harassment campaign against you. But I definitely think that obviously, if that's what you decide to do, there will be plenty of people to support you and ultimately help defend you.
Yes, I mean, just make it clear. I don't care a little bit about the harassment campaign. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
those people, they are weak. They can
They're
just point the
desperate for
finger and
attention.
scream. Yeah, they can just call me names. I don't give a f. You know
Yeah.
what is stressful is this. It's just that I have so much stuff to do. I have interviews. I have to read. I mean, I have like dozens and dozens of messages on Discord, on Twitter, and I have to pay attention at stuff and interviews like I mentioned, the podcast, and I have to think of a way of produce some good content and live streams. I'm trying to keep up with my live streams, and you know what? There's been, I don't know, almost 2 weeks I don't play a video game, and I'm starting to miss it. I want to play
Yeah.
something, but I just can't because my brains is crazy all the time thinking about all this situation. I know it's not gonna last forever like this. I know,
Oh, yeah. It will die
but man,
down, but
yeah. But don't get me wrong. I appreciate all the attention I'm receiving. I mean,
oh,
I have
yeah.
no time. I can't complain because it's tiresome. But I mean, I'm loving all of this because I have the opportunity to share my thoughts. And I know that this can end up in a good thing for the gaming community as a whole. And this is my main goal. I want to leave a mark in the gaming community. I want to make people remember that they should and that they can always talk with their wallets. They do not. I mean, those companies they need us. We don't need them. You know,
That's
people gotta
true.
remember this. That's what I want people to take out from this all this situation, because it's not gonna be the hottest thing in the world forever. I know this,
Oh,
but
right.
when it, yeah, I mean, when it's not, remember my curator, remember that we as a gaming community we can make a difference, and let's do it. I mean, let's keep fighting the good fight, I guess. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, guys, that is going to conclude our interview and our chat. I had a great time chatting with you guys. If you are looking for any of the links, they are in the description. I've got the anti-sweet baby detected list down there, your Twitter. I believe I have your YouTube channel. So I've got all those links down below, guys. And this has been a really good chat. If you have anything else you'd like to say to the community, feel free.
um I just said, remember to talk with your wallets. That's what I want to say. And remember what is happening right now. Those
Yeah.
journalists, they are not our friends. They don't like what we like. They just want to destroy things we love, and don't forget about it when time pass.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Well, chat, thank you guys for the super chats, for the donations, for the support. Tomorrow evening, I will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am doing another interview with the talented and beautiful Rini Draws. So that link will be up in a couple of hours. But maybe we can have Kabrutus on again in the future. Hopefully, the journalists grow some balls and actually start either trying to have adult discussions with you, civil discussions with you, but at this point, I kind of highly doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even if they tried because I don't trust them. I think they're going
Yeah,
just to twist what I say. I don't trust them at all.
that's true. Well, guys, thank you for being here the past few hours. Links are in the description. Go and follow them. Go and follow the list and his Twitter/X account. And I will be live again tomorrow. Thank you guys for the donations, for the support, for stopping by, and have a very good rest of your evening, everyone.